I want to talk about my fleet of cars, I guess I will call it, and what I think is next. Because I always have to think of what's next. So, I have 4 cars, 2 Teslas, a Rivian, and a Durango. And the Durango is still fairly new because I just bought it not long ago. I think today it's up to 400 miles, so I'm not driving it very often. But I do like it. And we kind of have to go over what I have and what I think of what I have. My longest owned vehicle is the red Model Y. And I've always liked it. It's always served a good purpose for me, and it's been a good car. I have no reason to get rid of that car because they're offering so low now that it's not worth it. And for what it is, I'd rather just keep it. So, keeping that one. The one I'm sitting in is the gray Model Y, which is the exact same thing as my red one. It's just gray. Same trim, same color, same everything. I have purposes for this car. I drive it to work. If I want to go on any kind of electric road trip, this is the car. Because I'm not really worried about putting a lot of miles on this car because I daily drive this car anyway. And for electric, this is the way to go. I wouldn't take any other brand than a Tesla on a trip because it's just the best way. And then the Durango, I'm really liking because it is my gas car. It's that gas backup. People always say, well, you got to have a gas backup. You don't, but it's nice to have. And it is my gas backup. It's sort of something I've always wanted, and I'm really enjoying it, and I have no reason not to want it, so it's good. And that brings us to the Rivian. The Rivian is my pickup truck, and I feel like I need a pickup truck. Just the things that I do, things I like to haul, trailers to pull, whatever. I need a pickup truck. And Rivian serves that purpose. It's good at towing. It's good at everything. But it's not great at everything. The Rivian has really lived up to my expectation, and that's good to an extent. There are some things that the Rivian has really fallen short on, and one of those is size. I never really realized just how small the truck is until I needed to try to use it, and then I realized, wow, this thing is small. Towing has been great. No problems with towing. However, I knew that the bed was only 4.5 foot. That's kind of small. I figured we could work around that with towing and whatever else. If I needed, I'll just use a trailer. But then we tried to use it as, just a car to put people in. And we got to 4 people and we realized, wow, this really is small. Like, there's not enough room for everybody to be comfortably in this vehicle. And 5 people would be out of the question. I mean, it's not comfortable. We could have done it. It wouldn't have been comfortable. And I like comfortable. All of this after I rented a F-150 to take to Maine, and it was big, and we put 4 people in it and had room for 2 more. I mean, we could, if we had to, we could have. It was great. So, I kind of knew that going into it, that the Rivian was going to be small, and it, just something we'd have to live with for now. But the more I use it, the more I realize it's not really living up to its expectation as far as size goes, as far as usability goes. So I think it's time that I start thinking about a Rivian replacement, because I'm not happy with the Rivian. Now I know we talked about the Ram Rev. Ram Rev is an all-electric pickup truck, but it's bigger. It's more like the F-150 Lightning. It's a full-size truck. And that was kind of the plan for a long time, was to go get the Ram Rev. I realize it's not going to be any more efficient than the Rivian is. It's going to take a lot of electricity to make it go. But I think it'd be really cool. It's the next new thing, you know, so my plan was to get a Ram Rev. Ultimately, though, I think the biggest thing is the F-150, or F-350 rather, that I used to own wasn't that bad of a truck. And it had a few things that I didn't like about it, but most of those were correctable, and some of those were my own fault. So it really wasn't that bad of a truck, and it served a bigger purpose, as you know, it had the fifth wheel prep package, it had the gooseneck prep package. You know, if I wanted to go get a fifth wheel RV, I could have. I already had the truck that I needed to do that. I just needed to go get the RV. And I think I would rather be back to that point than focusing on all electric. I like electric, and I have no problems with electric. And the whole general idea interests me because, you know, you can, I don't know, I'm a nerd. I'm a stats kind of person. I like stats. And you can really study stuff like that and learn a lot about it. But right now, I feel like the way the country is going, the way everything is going, I will have the rest of my life to play with electric cars and study them and learn about them. But in the near future, I may have an increasingly hard time purchasing a big diesel V8 truck. So I don't want to be in a position where my only choice is electric. Thus why I also wanted the big Hemi V8 Durango. Just in case they try to outlaw them in the next 10 years. I want to own one. And I might as well go ahead and get in now before they start trying to kill them down and saying, oh, well, they're not efficient enough. It needs to be 3 horsepower and no gas at all. You know, something stupid. I'm happy with the way that they work now. And I don't know how long I'll keep the Durango or the F-350 if I go that route. But it's an option, I guess you'd say. So let's talk about what I didn't like about the F-350. I liked it for the most part, but there were some things that kind of annoyed me about it. Some of them are my own fault, and some of them are because it's, you know, an outgoing model. One thing I really didn't like about it was the payment. I bought the truck. I paid for all of it, except for about $30,000 cash. And the issue with that was that I expected to pay it off fairly quickly, be done and out in like no time. And that was the plan, but the plan did not go through. So I took it on a very short-term loan, thinking, you know, who cares? And then ended up having to make that $1,000 a month payment over and over and over again because I wasn't actually paying it off early. That was my own fault. And that was one of the reasons why I was so quickly to get rid of the truck. I also got rid of the truck because I was planning on getting the Rivian, and I thought, well, trading this for the Rivian seems like a really good idea. So, you know, let's do it. Other things I didn't like about it, Ford had removed multi-contour seats due to supply shortages, or so they say. Whatever, you know. It really ticked me off because if I wanted an XLT, I would have ordered an XLT, and, you know, I got a limited with no luxury features, so that's cool. The audio system was not great. I think the best you could get in that truck was a 10 speaker, which sucked. The air system that I had put on it, which again is another one of those my fault kind of things, but the air tank, the air horn, all the things that I had put on it leaked so bad. If the truck was running, the air compressor was running, because that's how bad it leaked. And I took it back to the place that installed it, and they basically told me that that's just the way it is. And I'm just like, that's not the way air compressors work. You need to fix the leaks. They wouldn't fix the leaks, and I didn't know how, so we dealt with it. So as you know, I ordered a F350, a 2023, because a lot of the things that I didn't like about the 2022 have been corrected already. The 10 speaker audio system is now an 18 speaker. And as far as I've been hearing, multi-contour seats, heated steering wheel, all the things that were being removed are not being removed this year. Fingers crossed. That could change at any moment. The seats are bigger, cushioner, comfier, better. I like that about it. Overall, it should be a way more comfortable truck. It will be a daily driver truck for me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to daily drive it, period. It just means that when I need a truck, it's going to be the only truck. I'll probably still daily drive this or the Durango, and then the truck as needed. But having that extra little ability to tow is big for me. I've recently been invited to go to this like 3-hour away ATV place and bring my ATV. Now, as you guys know, I don't own an ATV, so I'm going to have to work on that too. But it wouldn't be possible to take the Rivian with a trailer 3 hours without having to stop and charge at some point along the way, and then stop and charge when I get there, and then stop and charge on the way back. And if anything goes wrong, I'm going to be staying there for a night. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work very well. With the dually, the F350 dually, put my trailer behind it, put a side-by-side on it, and go. And I could get there and halfway back before I have to stop for fuel. And guess what? I'm back on the road in 10 minutes. So that's kind of a big thing. Yeah, it's way more expensive, but I mean, convenience comes at a price. And that's just the way it works. So yeah. Right now, the plan is I will trade my Rivian in on the 2023 F350 dually when it comes in. I will try to get many videos of that truck because, you know, as with anything new that comes out, it's hard to find videos on it. And I was one of the first few orders. October 28th, I think it was, we ordered the F450, and then I changed my mind, and on November 3rd we ordered the F350, and I'll be taking the F350. I have no use for the 450. We can go over that in another video, why I chose that over the other. Kind of the same reasons why I did it in 2022, but I just rethought them over again and still came to the same conclusion that a 350 was going to do what I needed it to do better. So that's the plan. Let's see where it goes.